to come on here and have a go at me. I mean, are you guys? Jerry Seinfeld is like, it's them that do it. You guys don't realize it. But they're the ones that connect Israel to Jayism. You know, you keep seeing people like I get commenters all the time that say, "Dude, you're mixing up Zionism and Jayism, and you know you're I'm making the mistake." They keep telling me I'm making the mistake. I'm mistaken because it's not, you know, it's the Zionists, but it's not. It's your average Jay, like Jerry Seinfeld, like Michael Rappaport, James Woods, Jon Lovitz, who flat out tell you, if you don't support Israel committing genocide, then you oppose Jayism. And instead of us embracing that and saying, hell yeah, you're right, we then go, oh, no, 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 conspiracy theorists, no, 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 no. I'm not, no, no, no. Like, you want to make everybody happy. I would give anything for Jerry Seinfeld, for any one of these pieces of shit, for even a real life Jay, a real life IDF guy or anything like that, to come through here and have a for real conversation. Because it is just, I mean, you know, you can find, I just saw a video of an Asian kid talking to what was an Israeli soldier. And the Israeli soldier is talking about, I'm going to come get you, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to shoot your whole family. And the kid's going, what are you talking about? I'm not a woman, I'm not a baby. You know, you're not going to do anything to me since all you do is kill women and babies. And this guy is, you know, doing this and threatening this guy. And it's like, it's what they do. They can't argue anything else. They can't make a reasonable argument as to why they should be allowed to even exist. I don't, personally, I think we need to outlaw it altogether. You know, in 2028, when I run for president, I'm going to run. My number one policy is getting rid of the Jays. And you know, if you don't agree with me, I'd love to hear why. I'd love to hear your take on why I'm wrong here. Dude. Fentanyl. Jerry Seinfeld. Let's see. If I just hit Jerry Seinfeld and I hit news, what do you think's going to come up? Bluntly tells activists, I don't care about Palestine. Yeah, this is the new thing. The Independent. Jerry Seinfeld bluntly tells activists, I don't care about Palestine. Awkward encounter.
Hey, it's hard to just sleep when you're tired because people are tired most of the time.
Gosh, I love you so much.
Oh, thanks.
He's not funny.
No, thanks.
Please?
No, thanks.
A little fun.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Oh.
He doesn't want any goyim touching him.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, that's Kesha.
Okay. Well, I wish her the best.
He
Sleep
doesn't want
apnea
that.
leaves you feeling
It's like,
exhausted
ew, goyim
and
touching
takes
me?
you away from the things you love.
So, Jerry Seinfeld issued a blunt response to an activist who urged him to show support for Palestine during a selfie request. The comedian 70 was asked for his photo by the influencer known as Subway DJ at Radio City Music Hall, where Saturday Night Live was hosting the 50th anniversary celebration. Seinfeld, who has long been an outspoken supporter of Israel, happily posed for the photo until Subway DJ brought up the Gaza conflict while secretly filming the video instead. Subway DJ asked, Jerry, can I get a selfie? To which the comedian legend, the comedy legend, replied, sure. Really oh, sure. And leaned in to pose for what he believed was a photo. Instead of taking a photo, the influencer recorded a video and put up 2 fingers in a peace sign while saying, Free Palestine. Do you get that? Do you get, that's not a negative. Seinfeld immediately appeared uncomfortable in the footage. When asked to repeat the phrase, shook his head and said, I don't care about Palestine, before walking away from the activist. Here it is.
Jerry, can I get a selfie? Sure. Free Palestine! Maybe?
I don't care about Palestine.
That's sad.
What an ass.
He's just a piece of shit. He's a standard J piece of shit. You know.
Let Broly in!
Let's see.
Is G here?
I don't know. I'm not downstairs.
He doesn't want to be exposed, neither does she, but then Chelsea gets her hands on something neither one wants to have. Right.
Let's see.
Nathan, is G here?
Let's see. Sound works this way.
Nate! Nathan, is G here?
Let's see. Sound works this way.
Nate! Nathan, is G here?
Let's see. Sound works this way.
Nate! Nathan, is G here?
It's crazy how that works.
Nathan, is G here? Get Broly in.
It's crazy how that works.
Nathan, is G here? Get Broly in.
It's crazy how
It's
that
cold
works.
outside.
I can't hear you on my end. I'm sorry. I just pulled it up. Maybe reset and come back.
Nicholas.
The clip has divided opinion online, with some supporting Seinfeld. Gee, I wonder who's supporting Seinfeld. Gee, I wonder if it's literally only Jay's.
Hey, Nick.
While other social media users were disappointed by the comedian's dismissal of the topic. What kind of artist says something like that, one person asked. Empathy, humanization, and equal rights should be in the root of what they do as a profession, they claimed. Meanwhile, another commenter replied, we don't care about Jerry. Others thought Subway DJ's ambush was unfair. The guy gives you a selfie and you pull some dumb move like that? Come on, man, one person said. Gee, I wonder who that was. Don't go asking him for a selfie just to say some dumb shit, another user added. Have some respect for him. It's disgusting. Seinfeld has been an outspoken supporter of Israel since the outbreak of the Gaza conflict. The comedian visited Israel in December 23 and met with the families of hostages. Yep, sure he did. There were no hostages. Just so we get that out. There were no hostages and there were no Israelis killed on October 7th. Doesn't Hollywoodism put that whole situation in a whole new perspective? After the conflict escalated, Seinfeld shared a statement on Instagram saying, we believe in justice, freedom, and equality. We survive and flourish no matter what. I will always stand with Israel and the J people. Sounds like they value Israel and the J stuff more than anything else. It's disgusting how there's no one there's no one that engages him. You know, anybody he ends up talking to is just along for the fucking ride. They're just as supremacist, just as awful. You know, Michael Rappaport, he's just a piece of shit. Funny how we haven't seen or heard much from him. You know, at first they had their C-level celebrities with Michael Rappaport. Then it jumped up to B plus A minus with Jon Lovitz. But now you have Jerry Seinfeld. Hoo boy. That's as A-lister as it gets. Last May, students walked out on Seinfeld at Duke University as he was about to deliver the commencement speech, and his show in Norfolk, New Jersey that same month was also disrupted by pro-Palestinian hecklers. Seinfeld has described the protesters as being off target. I love that these young people, they are trying to get engaged with politics. We just have to correct the aim a little bit. That they don't seem to understand that as comedians, we really don't control anything, he said on the podcast, honestly. I mean, it's just gross. It's you know, he's saying that he's saying like we're not smart enough. Like all the people that have organically gone against Palestine or gone against Israel, they love to act like, it's the same thing as Bible thumpers. Christians always act like you haven't, you must not know what they know. That's why you're not the same thing as them. That's why you don't believe what they believe. Love you, dude. Be good. Got your watch? Call if you need anything. Don't do anything stupid just because somebody else wants to do it. Here, why don't you play your game and let me have the phone? Yeah, I'll bring it down to you in a little bit. Thanks, bud. Yeah, I know.
Then I can get my phone.
Right.
He doesn't move. Fuck you.
I mean, I deal with the same shit, right? I just deal with it from a different perspective. Let me just finish reading this. It's so silly. It's like they want to express this sincere, intense rage, but again, a little off target. So that's to me comedic. He thinks it's comedic. What a piece of shit. But that's what I mean. Like they push this narrative that the protesters are just off target. They just don't know what they're doing. Right? They're just it's great that they're out protesting and stuff, but they're protesting for the wrong thing. Because Israel's the victim. Israel's the good guy. Fucking awful, man. Jerry Seinfeld. I wanted to read some of his other stuff. Long been an outspoken supporter of Israel. Jerry Seinfeld mocks another pro-Palestinian heckler with stinging comeback in Australia. Let's see. Let's see how the guy with the microphone responds. Oh, so we can't hear what the guy's saying? Ooh, so that's just it then. Jerry Seinfeld delivered a stinging rebuke to a group of pro-Palestinian supporters who disrupted his stand-up show in Melbourne, Australia, joking, "I think you need to go back and tell whoever is running your organization we just gave more money to a J."
Or you could do it the easy way by calling Kcuf and get the beautiful bathroom of your dreams installed in just 1 day. That's right.
That should tell you what you need to hear.
Just 1 day.
That's how they view all of your pro-Palestinian protests. You know why? Because they know the truth.
Offering 0 interest.
They know that free Palestine is just a distraction. It's not about free Palestine. Free Palestine is yesterday's story. It's the crumbs. And it doesn't even make sense. What do you mean by free Palestine? Are we talking about putting a monarch in charge? Are we talking about putting an American diplomat in charge? Are we talking about...
No, let's put Elon Musk in charge.
Well, are we talking, October 7th, 2023 Palestine? Are we talking about pre-2021 Palestine, pre-2006 Palestine, pre-2013 Palestine, pre-2006 Palestine, pre-1983 Palestine, pre-1967 Palestine, pre-1948 Palestine, pre-1915 Palestine? Like, what are we talking about? When was Palestine free? It's and then to hear Jerry talk, to hear what he says, like, haha, you saying this just gets more eyes on me and puts more money in my pocket. But that's what I've been telling you. Protests don't do anything. Protests are just a nuisance. If anybody can tell me the last time there was a protest about something and the next day the law changed, I'd love to hear it. If you're watching, like, share, and sub. Help out. Give a shit. I would, if you know any of the people I mentioned, please have them come in here and have the conversation. I think they're all stupid, awful people. But prove me wrong. The last report I heard about Michael Rappaport, the last video I saw, he was in Israel on his penthouse balcony singing this song. If you hate Jay-Z, you know it's a Zionist. If you hate Jay-Z, you know it's a Zionist. If you hate Jay-Z, you know it, but you're too afraid to show it. If you hate Jay-Z, you know it's a Zionist. And then he does this like maniacal laugh, and then he like shows that he's in Israel.
What are you, a morality cop?
Like, what are we talking about here? How is this the reality? I'm just, it's so overwhelming. It's so shocking. Knowing that there's genocide taking place right now. They are killing people right now. And you have pieces of shits like Jerry Seinfeld talking about, I don't really care about Palestine. This whole argument that, well, Israel has the right to defend itself. Who doesn't have a right to defend themselves? It's like it's such a stupid thing. And the biggest issue for me is like, so I see things that way, right? I think the Jays are bad guys. I blame everything on them. I believe there's a conspiracy. All of those things. How do I fix that? How do I fix that? What do I look into? What do I research? Who do I talk to? I mean, it's not only do I feel this way, I literally go live and talk about it every day for hours at a time, hoping that somebody can come set me straight. And yet, here, let's read this, right? One thing about Israel, if they're so horrible, why did Hamas attack civilians? What did they think was going to happen? Stupid. I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. Do you know that prior to October 7th, Israel had killed 273 civilians in their nightly raids? There were more civilians killed than days passed in the year. Like 60 or 70 were children. But the thing is, there were no Israelis killed on October 7th. Just like there were no Israelis taken hostage. It's all been a big fucking lie. That's why there's no footage of it. or very, very little footage of it. This is one of the most heavily surveilled areas in the world. And yet, Hamas supposedly launched 5,000 rockets in 20 minutes. In the first 20 minutes. And it all happened so fast that nobody was able to film it. It's fucking stupid. Oh, look. Johnny can't actually debunk anything I'm saying, so now he's resorting to ad hominem, like these piece of shit Jays always do. It's like they have one response, and arrogantly they think if they give you that one response that should be enough. But as soon as you break through their one response, they immediately go to just same old stupid shit. And this is, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about the largest pedo organization in the world in Hollywood. The most murderous, genocidal group in the world with it. Like, it's all obvious. They do horrible things. This is a horrible, horrible cult. And just like any other horrible cult, we should eliminate it. But for some reason, we bend over backwards to accommodate it. And I think a lot of it has to do with the, with your church bullshit and your God's chosen people bullshit. But you would think, like, if I was wrong, how come there's no intelligent Jays that come in here and say, listen, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, what about this? And then when I say something, they go, look, stop being a dumbass, stop, answer the question. Why aren't they asking me questions? Why aren't they peeling apart what I'm saying? You're telling me there's not a single Jay smart enough to do that in this whole fucking world? I mean, I don't see how they could, to be honest with you. I don't know how anybody can justify cutting and sucking baby penises. That is so fucking unbelievably horrible. Like, it tops the list as far as horrible things done by religions to, as far as rituals go. I can't think of anything else worse than that.
That you know of.
Right.
There's some fucking really horrible shit going on in the world.
Well, there's all that, what's that thing in the Mormon beliefs where if they think you're gay, they can rape you to, make you, it was on one of these shows.
Yeah.
But as long as he's trying to convert you, it's not looked at as a crime by their people. I I just don't get, like, it's the same thing like with religious people. Look, if you're religious, then you should be like happy to come onto my feed and have this platform to be able to put this dumb atheist in his place. And you would think you would do it, and yet it never ever happens. People just act like children. Children you just told there was no Santa Claus, and because they know how ridiculous it is, they just get mad. Because they know they can't argue anything. But they get mad because they wanted to believe it. I just want to I want to make life better. I don't get it. I sit here. Do you think I'm just sitting here? I got nothing else I could be doing. I got all kinds of shit I could be doing. I should be doing right now. But I am just so overtaken by this. I'm so overwhelmed with trying to figure this out. and pointing out the, the holes in the narrative that they're trying to sell us as truth. If you're watching, like, share, sub. I mean, it's just crazy. You know? Our history is so fucking crazy. It's just, it's. Yeah, I almost hate to do it, but I'm like, I'm really proud of my wife, right? Because I know how difficult it is. I know being raised in the environment she was raised in, and how she views me makes things difficult. You know, she has a good opinion of me and all that, but she doesn't like when I'm smarter than her about things. And when it came to a lot of this, she's a really good person. Right? Like, she's not the, she's telling me, like, you can't just blame everybody. You can't do this. You can't, you have to, it's not every one of them and blah, blah, blah. But she's also been, like, forced to look at a lot of shit. And where I'm proud of her is that she doesn't see it and go, well, I'm going to choose to believe what I was believing beforehand, even though this is completely, this completely smashes it, or this is obvious, this is whatever. Like, that's how Christians are. Christians do that with everything. You can present them with goddamn anything, and they're going to be like, well, I have faith. And I have to give my wife the credit for not doing that. Because the good person in her normally would override.
I'm going to need you to stab the potatoes. Our potato stabber left.
Nathan can do it.
Nathan can't do it.
Nathan can do it.
He can't.
He can.
He can't.
He's plenty strong enough. He's fine.
He can't do it. He will maul them. Did you see what he did to the potatoes?
Don't Alex him. Just have him do it and explain it to him. I just think about it so much. It's like it's always on my mind. And at this point, I can't watch TV. I can't. It's so hard to, like, especially on my, either it's my Instagram or my Facebook, whatever. My shit is full of evidence that there's a genocide taking place. And the Palestinian aspect of the genocide is just a small piece. But it's not like there's all this evidence out there showing Israel as the victim. Literally nothing. Nothing. Go show me something. Show me a video that and even then, it just so happens that Hamas wears, the khaki suit with the balaclava over their entire face and the green headband, so you know exactly where to shoot them. But you don't know who's under that mask. It's like the KKK, right? You have no idea. And especially considering how much Israelis and Palestinians look alike, you just never know. There was a recent shooting that took place. A man... What? Nathan, come here. He can. Nathan, come here. Come here. Show your mom you can do this. Come here. Come here, I said.
One second, actually.
Look at the ad hominem. Are you on the welfare? I can't argue anything you're saying. So, okay. So, take this. Put your thumb like this. Okay, wait. Hold the potato real hard. Don't wait. Gotta go here. Okay. Don't let it slip out and hit your hand. Pull it out.
It's leaking.
It's gonna leak. Okay.
And I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
You gotta do the sides too. Those ones are huge. We want the middles to cook and not stay hard. That's what we're doing.
If there's anything, Mom's making it not stay hard. Oh.
Putting holes in it.
Oh,
so
that was
get it into
mean.
the middle
All right.
and cook the middle
Maybe
of the
these ones
potato
are a
too.
little
Does that
big.
make sense, Nate? Because otherwise it cooks from the outside to the middle. If you don't get heat to the middle, the outside will get cooked to a crisp before you get to the middle, unless you ventilate it. Plus, they will explode.
Come on, explodes.
You don't want a baked potato exploding in your oven. It's awful.
Hold it. Hmm?
That hurt my thumb.
Your mom hurts my thumb.
Yeah, being double jointed makes that task a little more
Okay,
difficult.
you want to try this one?
Nope.
It hurts my Virginia.
Shut up.
My buttersheen. It hurts my buttersheen.
What have you done?
Maybe two more, man.
Your main man?
My main man who's under 12. Or 12 and under.
Huh? 12.
I have another one who's over 12. So,
That makes
there's no favorites.
I mean, come on, Dad. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
You'll see.
Yeah, you love your kids equally, differently sometimes, depending on, it's a boy versus a girl, whatever.
Oh my, here, wait, one more.
Equally.
Oh my God. Both hands, please. If I had a girl,
Oh, God.
it would be awful.
It would be awful. It'd be more awful for me than it would be for you.
No, it wouldn't.
Oh,
I
it
would
would.
be so strict on her, you have no idea.
Uh-huh.
I would be. I ain't making no
Right.
whore like her mommy.
Nathan?
Yes.
Okay, get the pan. It doesn't matter which one, just grab one. I just want to pull this out. We're not pulling this out because you want your potatoes in the middle of the oven. Of the rack of the oven. So we're going to go like this. So there's two. Hour and a half.
Oh man. I feel like shit. Holy shit.
I know, it's just, we have a warrant. And they've already pulled your commission.
I just don't understand why you would. What are you seeing? You know, the whole thing about the Jays controlling the world. Nobody ever goes, oh, I've never heard that before. Everybody's heard that. Every one of your grandparents, your parents, the elders in your life,
I've heard what?
that the Jays control the world. We all know that. We all have known that forever.
I don't know about the world, but it's always been the diamonds and the gold and the
Yeah,
money.
the world. Yeah. But it just. It's like we all know it, but then because we're told not to talk about it, we don't. The only ones that truly benefited from the PC movement were the Jays. I mean, they are so untouchable. Understand that the richest, most powerful people in the world, the people who send their kids to Harvard, Yale, Columbia, all these high ranking schools. These are the rock stars. These are the legal professionals, the doctors. These are all the people that can afford a school like that. And their children were getting arrested doing a constitutionally protected activity. We have a constitutional right to protest. There was no violence. But yet these rich and powerful people's children are getting arrested, and the rich and powerful aren't coming out to either condemn the kids or to support the kids. Why do you think that is? Like it's I just have this like this growing animosity, you know? It's so obvious, and every time I see it, it's just more and more. It's so irritating. And I just want us to be like, you know, we've had enough. You know, I don't have all the answers by any means. If I was elected president, which I'm running for in 2028, I would have a really strong cabinet. You know, I would have really strong, intelligent people around me. I don't even know who they are. But I would set forth to have those interviews, just flat out interviews. I'm the boss. You interview with me. But I mean, it's so fucking crazy. The Elon Musk bullshit, this Trump bullshit. Trump talking about a ceasefire so they can stop running with the ruse that Israeli hostages are out in the wild. So now they can just bomb however they want to bomb and not have to try to explain, how did you know there weren't any hostages there? Right? That's literally all it was about, was ending the ruse. And I mean immediately Israel is you know, continuing to strike. It wasn't like they ever actually took part in the ceasefire. And now you have Trump talking about how we are going to own it. The United States is going to own it. And how's that going to work? If the United States owns it, which it doesn't even make sense. How would the United States own Palestine? And that's just stupid. But even if they did, what about Israel? Doesn't Israel want that shit? Yeah, well, Gaza. I mean, right.
Huh?
Yeah, right.
Gaza.
Right,
We're
not Palestine. Right.
And Israel will be our co-partner or buy it from us or whatever.
However it works,
it's
but
gonna be stupid.
It's what we're gonna do is we're gonna develop it. We're gonna sink a bunch of money into it and then award it to the Israelis, right? And this is
their servants.
See what I mean? Like, I love when she says shit like that. I get a little stiffy. Because it's like, it's a lonely place to be. You know? It's lonely when you're in a place where you have to be really careful talking about it with people because they flip out. We've been so programmed to like, you can't say that. Like, it's really weird how people get it, especially considering they know it's true. Right? It's just, it's overwhelming. And like I say, it's lonely. It's lonely up here at the top. Because, it's not like I can talk to family about it. If they're older than me, oh, well, what does he know? He's younger. Because that's how we're raised to be, right? We're raised to think that way. Even though you'll think Elon Musk is smarter than you'll think, whatever, that, and I'm not saying I'm Elon Musk. However, when it comes to this Israel stuff, I am. I know my stuff. I'm confident and proud of my anti-Semitism. And I just, it's such a weird thing because I should be able to just say it. And then people go, oh, really? That's how you feel? Why do you feel that way? And I say, oh, well, this. And they say, okay, well, here, let me try to help you. You're wrong about this and you're wrong. Like, why isn't it just a simple conversation? How do you, I can't tell you how to get here. My wife always says to me, like, I have to keep that in mind, that it took me a long time to get here, and I have to ease people in, and, you got to spit on it and work it in just a little bit.
Sometimes you do. And it's only because the programming has been so strong and for so long and so effective.
And I agree. And I absolutely think there are a lot of people out there that should be doing a softer touch. They should be.
It doesn't always require a soft touch.
I know, but I'm just saying there are different levels, and I'm not going to dumb down to.
It's not. It's adapting. It's sales.
It's not. It's not. This is.
Your audience. That's it.
But this is. I firmly believe that this approach is the best one. Is forcing people to. To walk away from this with things that they'll think about at a later time. Because the reality is they're probably not going to jump on board. But when you point things out to them and then they start seeing it in their real life, or they start, the one thing that I know is, like, if something I say sticks with you, sticks in your craw, and you're going to go look it up, and you're going to go do this, and you're going to go do that. You know why you're doing that? Because I'm right. On some level, I'm right. And it fucks with your shit. So you're going to desperately go try to fix that hole that I created. There are a few people that, when it comes to the submarine thing, they were initially, like, skeptical. But then when they went to look, it's there. Like I said, you guys just don't get who my wife is. I don't one day go, hey, I don't think submarines are real. And my wife goes, okay, that's what we think. We don't think submarines are real. Like, that's not how shit works. She requires more convincing than most of you.
50s, boy.
I know. You don't have to remind me. I know. But she was here for the investigation. And there are certain aspects of this that are just undeniable. It's undeniable that if they're in a fucking vessel that's moving and then crashes through the ice, they should be affected by it. They should, at the very least. But that's not how that works. You need more magic mushrooms. You are proud of your anti-Semitism. Absolutely, I am. Absolutely. You know why? Because I know what words mean. So Semitism, I don't even know why I bother. I have to do it this way, or else you guys won't. You'll find some reason not to. So, all right. So we go here, and we go to S, Semitism, definition. Merriam-Webster, Semitism. See, Semitism definition. Semitism. See, we're on the page. 1A, Semitic character qualities. 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. You ready? Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to Jays. You know what that means? That's a nice way of saying supremacy. Policy is is the rules, the laws, everything like that. Predisposition is a tendency to behave or think in a certain way or to develop a particular disease. So your tendency to behave or think in a certain way is favorable to the Jays. Do you get it? So if you say, I don't think anyone deserves favor, I think we're all equal. I don't think anyone should have any sort of supremacist position over anyone else, especially this whole you have to be born into it bullshit. Semitic is all of the people, all of the whole region. Black, white, brown, Palestinians, Syrians, Lebanese, Yemenis, Egyptians, even the North Africans. These are part of the Semitic area. So I know they think they own everything, but they don't actually own that word. Okay, but you don't hate Jays themselves, right? Absolutely, I do. Abso-fucking-lutely. I do, however, believe that if you were raised in that cult and you say, no, I don't want to partake in the disgusting rituals of cutting baby penises and sucking on them. I don't want to think women's vaginas are disgusting. I don't want to, support genocide in any way or pedophilia in any way. I don't believe that anyone is born superior to anyone else. You're always welcome. You always have a Passover my feast. It's not about the people themselves. I mean, it is because the people. But if you say I'm not a part of that shit, you're a hero to me. Actually, the funny thing is I don't know anyone like that. I don't know anyone that's an XJ. Not a single person. And you could say, what about those that protest against the genocide happening right now? Those people still think we're goyim. My wife throws that one at me all the time. And my only response is the same response all the time. But do they think we're goyim? And the answer is, do they think we're goyim? Yes. And what does goyim mean?
Anything other than them.
Anything other than them. The dogs, the cats, the beds, the chairs, anything there to be of service. If you're not one of them, do you ever ask, why do you accommodate them so much? This is a disgusting, disgusting cult. They do really horrible things, and always have. There's another. Did you hear? I don't think you heard me. There's another story about them poisoning wells, poisoning water systems. It's happening right now. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Israel poison water. Suspected mass poisoning in southern Israel leaves 335 birds dead. That's not it. Israeli settlers kill over 50 sheep on Palestinian farm. Oh yeah, this is no. Really weird that this isn't coming up. Interesting. Well, there is Operation Cast Thy Bread. It's interesting that a specific group of people has a specific horrible thing associated with them. And the specific horrible thing associated with this one group is that they poison drinking water supplies. And they've done this all the way back through history. And if you say it, it's a trope. You can't say that, blah, blah, blah. The problem being, in the 40s, just before Israel was established, Ben-Gurion and the secretary of the head of the whatever, they okayed and ordered a Operation Cast Thy Bread, which was Israel poisoning drinking water systems, specifically in a town called Acre, which they then attacked and overthrew, which was the first, the footings for Israel to start. That was the first town that was taken, and then it spread like the cancer they are through there. It's pretty like saying foreigner. It's pretty like saying foreigner. What are you talking about? This is a cult. This is a cult. And the thing about this cult is it's like all you have to do is look. They don't think highly of you. You not being part of their cult means you are beneath them. I mean, am I saying something that's not true?
No.
As much as people might want it to be a certain way, that's how they fucking see it. That's what their shit says. That's how they act. They're literally committing genocide right now while pretending to be the victim. Like, think about how fucking stupid that is. How come you've never heard of Operation Cast Thy Bread? How come you've never heard of the Samson Option? Which is the Israeli deterrence strategy that says if they're ever invaded and or destroyed, that they will launch their nukes in every direction. But they'll kill us all. They'll kill us all. They don't care. If they're ever threatened or, they ever feel... And the thing is, whether they actually have them or not doesn't really matter. If you believe they have them, you won't do it. You won't attack. And my solution for my 2028 presidential run is that we let them have what they want. We send all of the Jays over to Israel. They can live in happiness and freedom and surrounded by like-minded people. And of course, cut off all American funding and all that. They just get to do their own thing. All of them, all the governments, all the AIPAC bought Congress seats and all that shit, the judges and all that bullshit. This is not true because you never talk to them. I'm Jay, and I can tell you that most of us won't hate you if you're not Jay. The problem is people who are religious in a radical way. Not true. Not true. And at the end of the day, you will side with your cult over doing the right thing. The right thing is to absolutely leave that shit behind. You're supposed to tell me that it's the Torah. You're not. I'm not supposed to know about the Talmud. The Talmud is like Fight Club. We don't talk about the Talmud. And you don't like people knowing about the Talmud, where it says that if a goyim rapes a child, well then he should absolutely be put to death. But if a chosen rapes a child, as long as that child is 3 years and 1 day old, the raper is now required to pay the full dowry, and the victim now belongs to the raper in a sort of marriage contract kind of thing, but not really. I mean, it's an ownership. Well, I mean, it's a three-year-old kid if that's what they want. Right? It doesn't say don't do that. Like, and you can just go,
But it says that we can't do that.
Right. And you can go, oh, that's just some old text, blah, blah, blah. That's just, no. No, you believe that. I don't see a bunch of Jays out there condemning the cutting and sucking of baby penises. We are talking about such a horrible, horrible fucking thing. And way more common than you'll want us to know. Way, way more common.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. my ex-husband, when he was 5, his mother married an Orthodox Jay, and she forced her 2 sons, who were 5 and 6 or 7, his older brother at the time, forced them to convert into Judaism. So they went straight from a Christmas tree to a menorah. Their dad had died before that, so they didn't even have that buffer. Um, well, the older one was a lot more of a submissive personality, and he liked to be a good boy and do the right thing, so he did what he was told and followed the rules and didn't, rock the boat, whereas my ex was more of the black sheep and more defiant and the wild child, and he, that fucked him up. He didn't believe in anything by the time that I met him. We married, and that didn't go over so well. Like, the wedding, the whole wedding thing was a fucking joke. Like, they required a rabbi be present and made all these stupid stipulations, and they still never accepted him as, being part of them, and never accepted his mother as being part of them. Like, even though she did all the things she was supposed to, and did all the gatherings, and spent all the money, and paid for the servants, and
Was still treated like shit.
was still treated like she was part of the... She was a step up from the fucking bartender and dishwasher and server that she had hired for the event. She was like their boss, but still not
Right. They would.
one of the guests,
They would.
even though she was the hostess.
Right. They would be like, "Hey, can you go get me a glass of wine?" They would ask her to do shit, like she wasn't one of them.
And even
This guy says, I'm as most Jays are super against this rape thing you told, and other radical things like this. Are you? Because
Well,
I don't
that's
hear
fantastic.
I don't ever hear any of you condemning it. I don't hear any of you ever demanding its eradication. I don't understand why you need to be Jay. It's awful and it's really dumb.
And Christianity is not any better. It's not like you're saying you should be Christian
Oh God, no.
instead.
No. That's all Jay trash.
But you have to, because that's
Right,
saying Trump sucks. Oh, you must love Biden.
Right.
Okay, so it's that same mentality.
Right. But it's that's exactly it. Like, why do you need to be Jay? What's the benefit to the world? What's the benefit to you?
I'm sure thinking salvation on some level. That's what religion promises and controls you with.
Yeah, well. And so to you, it's like so you don't actually know whether any of it's true, but in order to accommodate the idea that it might be true, you're also going to overlook the worst behaviors in the world because that's part of it. You have to. That's the thing. Like, people just don't. You can say all these things. I am super against these things, and no, you're not. No, you're not. If I were to ask you without giving the hint that I knew what it was, if I were to ask, hey, do you guys eat foreskins and shit like that? Is that true? Do you guys eat placentas and eat foreskins and cut and suck and do you guys believe that the women's vagina is disgusting? And you'd say, oh no, those are just terrible, tropes and rumors.
Old beliefs, old ways.
But then when I go, okay, well, what about this? Then you're gonna go, you can't say those things. You can't say those things. Like I said, you do the good thing, and you say, I no longer support one group's supremacy over everyone else, and I am Team Goyim. I am Team everyone. You're the man. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. But you're not going to answer these questions, are you? I hope one day you'll get support and love from your family. Oh, okay. I hope one day you'll get a brain that allows you to actually partake in a conversation instead of making up your own narrative because you can't actually partake in the conversation. Like it's wild, man. It's just wild how
I tried to insinuate you just didn't get enough hugs. Is that
oh
what it is?
well, that or they know the history, so they're
Trying to distract.
right. I mean, it's just stupid. It's amazing. It's amazing to me that they continue to think these tactics work well. It's like again, it's like Israel claiming that if you open the books on Israel, that will demonize Israel. And the obvious response to that is, well, if you were doing the right things, how could we demonize you? You know, that's the part that the Jays don't like addressing. And I'm telling you, they're really stupid. They honestly think that saying, you know, that will demonize Israel, that will work, and people will go, oh no, we're not trying to demonize, and you know the standard response. They don't want us to be like, you know, respond the obvious way, and I don't think they realize it. I really do think they're stupid. It's not like they're the ones that invented shit. You know, it's not like they're the ones that were the creative geniuses behind our history. They just stole everything. I don't know what to tell you, man. I believe everyone is equal and no one should be forced to do anything. Yeah, well, then we should probably stop killing Palestinians, don't you think? And then the greater Israel project that's going to encompass much more than the Palestinians, don't you think? Maybe focus on yourself and building the environment you want to live in and focusing on hobbies and conspiracies. Sorry, but none of us can make a difference most of the time in politics. Yeah? If that's what you want to believe. I don't know. The thing is, there's a reason why you're drawn here. You can claim you hate me, whatever it may be, but there's a reason why you guys are drawn here. This is what scares them. Israel is way more nuanced than what you're talking about. No, it's not. It's not at all nuanced. And these are things that like people say when they don't actually know the argument. No. At the end of the day, Jayism is a cult. Why are we accommodating anything that has to do with a cult? A really awful, awful cult. Yeah, I live in a trap house. Yep. That's what it is. Instead of saying all that garbage and insulting them, you could simply agree with colonialism and Zionism is bad and wrong. Yeah, but that's not the end of the argument now, is it? See, this is where, again, your ignorance doesn't bleed over onto me. I'm sorry you haven't looked any deeper. Have you bothered to watch Hollywoodism yet? No. Go watch Hollywoodism. Hollywoodism tells you everything. Can you come up with a better this is what you should watch than Hollywoodism?
I mean, if you're looking for the head of the snake, that's where it gives you all the information you really need.
Yeah, sorry, but I agree with you. Yeah, sure you do. Read my comment. Make you want to scream. I'm 20 and I left my parents to live in a better house. All I did was suffer through a shit job. Fix yourself before judging others. We make fun because you're obviously you are obviously out of your zone. Yeah, that's what it is. So like you're saying that what you do is look for someone that's maybe not altogether there and you just go pick shit. You don't actually talk about what's going on in the conversation. You just try to make that person feel bad, or I don't really know, but because you're so good. I should be more like you. Instead of me trying everything I can to basically prove myself wrong, I should just not provide the video that you watch day after day, month after month. You know, I shouldn't do that. Like, it's just stupid. You're just saying stupid shit. And believe me, the 20-year-old knows nothing. You literally know nothing. It's so crazy how dumb you are still at 20 years old. You think you're fucking smart, but you're not. I'm born on a computer. I can't put input because you have power over the. Can you imagine if I didn't? Can you imagine if all these stupid fucking people were allowed to just scream whatever nonsense they wanted to? Anyway, they're going on midnight break. Good. I have a house and money, so your opinions don't matter. LOL. Right. Of course. Because I'm in my trap house. Yeah. And I'm out there eating my crack and smoking my meth. If I'm right or wrong, you have the bigger say because you're the one broadcasting. Exactly. Do you not understand what's going on here? But you really easily could write a comment that says whatever you need to say. I don't understand you actually have the advantage here. If you say something that I can't answer for, and I'm like, oh, and I'm the one that looks like an idiot, you're the one that gets unlimited time to respond however you want to, make sure it's spelled right, without having that immediate judgment. Don't act like you're at some sort of disadvantage here. You absolutely have an advantage. Oh, they're doing it. 10 years now. This guy, I'm living on your team here. Yeah, sure, whatever. There's no advantage to this. Neither one of your opinions really matter. You're putting yourself out there to be judged. Yeah, no. I'm putting my comments, my beliefs out here to be judged. If you're stupid enough that you can't actually address what's being said and you have to go, well, I'm 20, so I'm gonna talk about your hair. Oh, I'm talking about your beard, and I'm gonna talk about your house. And it's called ad hominem. Learn something, 20-year-old. Ad hominem is what people do when they can't actually argue the points being made. So then you bring up something, about the person, where they live, what they do, something like that, instead of actually addressing the argument. It's something politicians do all the time. But go ahead, you keep going. Yeah, we can't debate with you because you ramble. Yep, that's what I do. Now I'm rambling. You just keep coming up with excuse after excuse while you can keep typing out long-winded excuses, but you can't make any reasonable points. Like, you must be a J to be that stupid. That's that same stupidity that says if you look into Israel, you demonize Israel. It's the same. Like, you honestly think you're making like a good statement there. You think you're actually like, I gotcha. But you don't realize how dumb you're making yourself look. I love the debate, but it was, dude, then do it. I don't want to debate with you. I don't care about what you want to do. If you want to say shit about what I'm getting wrong, by all means, do that. But this isn't about you. Even though you're 20 and you think everything still is. Who's your favorite politician? The dead ones. I hate politicians. They all suck. They're all terrible. Even the squad is terrible. Israel has a very rich history. No, it doesn't. This is now 20-year-old is going to tell us how Israel has a rich history that dates back all the way to 1948. Right. That rich history. If you're circumcised, does that make you a J? No, that makes me J property. So Abraham, father of the Jays, had this little phone call with God. God told him that, you need to circumcise everybody. You don't want me destroying the world again. I got to circumcise. There's a couple of times when God does this, actually. It's weird. Makes these covenants with people. And they're always Jays. It's always the Jays that have that are able to build the altar that then talk to God directly. It's such a goofy book. But the whole thing was that the Jays have to circumcise themselves. As long as the Jays remain circumcised, that keeps the world from being destroyed. It just helps that they circumcise the slaves too. They mark us as slaves. That's what, you know, Abraham then went and circumcised all of his slaves. Can you imagine that day? Working in the fields all day. NASA got me working. And then it comes out, he's like, hey, everybody, I've got some great news. A big blood stain on his crotch. You guys, we're going to keep the world from being destroyed. I'm going to circumcise you. You're like, what's that? Hold still. But it was like 90 some slaves, I think. I don't remember. You guys want to hear it? You guys want to hear it? Let's hear it. Abraham. KJV. Try reading the Bible, says this dumbass. Most of what you have problems with is just symbolic. Isaac wasn't actually sacrificed. God wanted to emphasize Jesus, and circumcision is just another symbolic thing. This guy is dumb. All right. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or bought with the money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, the soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto, because, you know, he did it. His parents didn't. And God said unto Abraham, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. Can you imagine that? I come home, my shit's all blown. I'm like, God told me to cut my skin off my dick, and your name's Sarah now. What the fuck? What you been smoking, dude? And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea. I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. That's pretty fucking goofy, don't you think? He fell on his face and laughed and said in his heart, of course, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seeds after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. Man, must have been nice to be a J back then, huh? But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in the house, and all that were bought by his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the same day as God had said unto him. Self-same, got that wrong. Self-same. And Abraham was 90 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
He was set to go to the senior living community right by my house. Then a friend suggested I talk to a place for mom. My advisor listened and understood. That were still nearby, but a better fit for dad.
I mean, it's just dumb shit. It's just I can't believe we even argue it or take it seriously at all. That's the part that's the place where I'm at. It's not whether or not it's true, or let's talk about certain pieces. It's all as dumb. Like it's shockingly stupid. It really is, where you just go like, how did this ever take off? How did anyone ever fucking read this or hear it? Because, deciphering it is difficult. But how would anyone have ever been told this bullshit and been like, fuck yeah. That makes sense. It's so irritating, and it's just so stupid. Yeah, let's see. Not us. No, I can't fucking stand you people. Why is that so hard? Like, it's so funny how arrogant they are, right? They just can't wrap their heads around somebody hating them. Right? What do you mean you hate me? You're just a dumb goyim. I'm superior to you. What do you mean? You don't support my beliefs? Why don't you believe what I believe? Or they don't care if we believe what they believe. They care if we practice Semitism. And again, it's not me making the shit up. Semitism is policy or predisposition favorable to Jays. That doesn't exist for black people. That doesn't exist for, dumb Christians. That doesn't exist for anybody else. Why do they get that? Maybe he wanted to emphasize it with fear factor because it makes it harder to get infections on your ween. No, it doesn't. If it was medical, then it would be done all over the world. It's not done in Europe because they say, emphatically that the risks don't outweigh the benefits. But you go ahead and keep believing it. Look into theologians, interpretations to actually find it interesting. You don't have to believe it, but I do believe you'll find it as interesting as I do. I doubt it. At least look at the theologians' interpretations. I don't struggle with any of it. See, this is the part that really separates us. I don't struggle with any of it. It's all bullshit, man. Why would you believe it? Aren't you an intelligent human being? Aren't you an intelligent human being? What about any of that bullshit makes any sort of sense to an intelligent human being? What about genocide is okay to an intelligent, compassionate human being? You didn't feed the dogs, did you?
What?
You didn't feed the animals, did you? Because they're waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say stupid. What aligns? Nothing you're saying makes sense. Nothing aligns. None of it makes sense. How's it arrogant? I don't hate you. I don't think I'm superior. I think you should look into it more because your neglect the symbolic factor and the ability to align. Yeah, why don't you, instead of saying dumb shit, say what you're actually saying? Like, you're just talking about fairy tale bullshit. And you're wrong. This is a horrible, horrible cult. It's horrible. And when you know that your cult cuts and sucks on baby penises, when you know that your cult thinks that women's vaginas are disgusting and that they have to bathe in the mikvah after their periods so they can please you again because they're clean. Like when you think these horrible things, I mean, there's a genocide happening right now. No matter how you want to slice it, the genocide is happening because of Jay supremacy. Because they believe they're supreme and they should just get whatever the fuck they want. That's, I mean, the fact is, we're probably in World War III because Israel's involved. All of the world wars involve Israel. World War I was about the Balfour Declaration and putting the British in charge of Palestine, creating British Mandate Palestine, so they could for 30 years they could soften the Palestinian people, and get them completely reliant on a foreign entity to protect them. You know, they lived good. They didn't have to join any militaries or anything. The British were there to protect them. And then, you know, you have the bullshit holocaust with the bullshit 6 million bullshit. And now, for some reason, because of something that supposedly happened in Germany, the Palestinians have to give up 56% of their land. That was the initial proposal. The Palestinians give up 56% of their land, and they walk away with you know, 44% or whatever. And because the Palestinians didn't accept it, they end up losing like 90% of their, well, 80% of their land initially, but now it's way more like 95. Yep. I don't know if I agree with Israel or not. I haven't done much research. Then you should shut up. I wish you would put the shoes of a teacher. Put on the shoes of a teacher if you're going to use the platform like this with hours of your time. I mean, I think that's what I'm doing. Literally, when I'm reading you what they want us to know, I don't know how else to do it. I don't know how else to cure my sickness, if you will. Right? Because I everything I look into, every piece of the puzzle I stumble across fits. And it's like, oh, more J stuff, more J stuff, more J shit. And so then I go, okay, you know, how can I fix that? I can't I can't go to like a library or I learned this stuff looking it up online. So how can I fix it? I can't call the news and say, hey, I'd like to, you know, have a conversation with a reporter, or I can't call my congressman and say, hey, can I have a meeting with you and we talk about this stuff? It doesn't work that way. So how do I fix this problem? Well, the only thing I know to do is go live and express all of these things. And if I'm wrong, it should be pretty easy to point out what I'm wrong about. Just like I find it pretty easy to point out that there's the J conspiracy. It should be just as easy to point out what I'm wrong about. And yet it never seems to happen. I only get some ad hominem bullshit. Why do you make a presentation without visual aids and references? Well, normally I do. But, yeah. The comment about Trump smoking, we start doing presentations. Your lives have come up by chance, but I'll sub if you start doing presentations. You can kiss my ass if you want it. Sub. I don't care. You said you're a J. Unless you're willing to like leave that shit behind, I have no association with you. You support genocide. You support, like, your blind support is why Hollywood is riddled with pedos and nobody does anything about it. You know, when they want the distraction, now everybody's focused on the black guy. When it turns out the black guy has tapes with everybody in them, oh shit, Hollywood burns down. And now we're back to being distracted by Trump. And like, I can't understand why anybody is pro-Trump. How that happened is beyond me, especially since it's so many like so many truthers, so many people who think government is bullshit and blah blah blah. They're somehow Trump supporters, and it's overwhelming. I just don't understand how that works. Yep, just rambling. Yep. But why do this if you're using it purely to waste your time? Why would what I do with my life matter to you so much that you're trying to get me to stop doing it? Sounds like some Team Jorge bot kind of shit to me. Just trying to come at it from a different perspective. Can you imagine somebody is going to be mad because I'm saying, hey, we should stand up to this J slavery? Again, it's almost like if you haven't watched Hollywoodism, it's really hard to have the conversation with you because all these things I'm talking about, you almost think it's like it's too impossible. You know, you think there's no way, blah blah blah. How would they do this? How could they? Blah, you know. But Hollywoodism is what will explain it all to you. When you watch Hollywoodism and you understand that they made Hollywoodism, it's not something I made, Alex Jones made, something like that. They made this movie to brag to each other. It's a movie for them, by them. If I made the same film with people of color that instead of saying we said they, but made everything else the exact same, the movie'd get destroyed. Everybody would and all these anti-Semitic tropes and then they'd be saying all kinds of crazy shit. The whole one video will change your life trope. Yep. Okay. Don't watch it. Personally, I don't. It's beneficial for your person. I'm concerned about your mentality. Oh no. I don't think what you're saying is complete shit. You have a point. I do. But while you are not doing anything for us or yourself. No, I definitely am. There are plenty of people out there who think this same way and stumble across my feed and go, oh, finally, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. There are other people out there that think like I do. Yeah. And it just is what it. I don't know how you can't. You know, I want to do something about it, but what else can I do? I can't jump on a plane, go get a bunch of guns, and go start fighting for the Palestinians. Like that can't happen. So what does someone in my shoes do? Same thing I do to try to prove myself wrong. I go live and I talk about it. And what you see repeatedly is more and more people like you who basically tell me I'm right. You're right, but you should stop talking about it. You're right, but you know, but I don't like your haircut. You're right, but you know, every time you don't address the things I'm talking about and you start talking about something else. I already did, dude. It changes things. Yeah, you can go away. They will 100% let you, and I think you should. Yep, that's what it is. Build yourself. You can make presentations. Make believe. Dude, who gives a fuck what you're saying? Like what I'm doing is fine. I absolutely need a podcast, but that's a whole different. And there's a truth here. I mean, the truth is I'm never going to be allowed to have any success. They absolutely control Facebook. They control social media. Team Jorge is your smoking gun. That's what it is. Another guy called Barbink was the former head of the Israeli cybersecurity apparatus. And he told Al Jazeera that they have their machines, their systems set up so that It will scour the internet looking for anyone talking about Israel, talking about Palestine, anything like that. Anything that they don't like. Anyway, they can have it set for anything. But anything that they don't like, they have the system set to find those things. The system flags whatever it is. They then review it, decide what they want to do. When they decide they want it off, he said that they contact Facebook, which I don't know how anybody does that, but Israel does. And Facebook, quote, usually complies with the request to either take it down or shadow ban the person or whatever. Barbink is he's the former guy. He said it proudly. Team Jorge is the smoking gun telling you exactly what you need to know, but you don't want to know. Yep. See, look at that. Look at Jake Whitehead. All the ad hominem he can come up with. Because again, he can't argue anything I'm saying. He's just a dumb crybaby Jay. They're all the same. They're all the fucking same. Smelly little rats. You know? This is the best that he's giving his best right now. Understand that. This is the best he can come up with. And that's it. Instead of acknowledging that he doesn't know what I'm talking about. He doesn't know about the Abraham Accords. He doesn't know about Team Jorge. He doesn't know about the Samson Option. He doesn't know about Cast That Bread. He doesn't know about all these things. He literally said he doesn't know about Israel. So instead of arguing something that he can't, he's going to argue something he believes he can. And it's just it's the same stupid shit. It's either the NPCs are just numerous and they literally say the same things, or it's multiple programs from the same, initial place. And Team Jorge, all the bots are programmed with the same scripts and the same whatever. I do believe that they also use humans, but so why does my mother agree with me? Dude, are you seriously 12? You said you're 20, right? Shouldn't you be past that by now? You hate the Jays and the Christians enough. I think it's your calling. Oh, I absolutely hate it all. It's all Jay stupid. It's all Jay control. Christianity is admittedly Jay control. So is Islam. It's just stupid shit. Why anybody believes it is beyond me. Why does everyone who ever cared about you gave up and agree with me? What are you even talking? Like, look at how stupid this guy is. So desperate. He can't stop showing how stupid he is. He's literally like falling into the trap. You have all of the opportunity in the world to exploit my stupidity. Show me something I'm getting wrong. Anything like that. And instead, you just keep hanging on my nuts, saying stupid shit because it's all you have. Like, I hope there are people that are watching, quiet people, whatever, that see this. Don't you see, like, if people, all these negative, shitty people, if they could say something, they could make me look stupid, they could tell me I'm getting something wrong or point out something so I look like a dumbass, whatever. They absolutely would. They're desperately trying to come up with anything they can. So it starts turning into like little 12-year-old insults and shit. It's really telling. This is what, you're not going to find the document from Team Jorge that says, hell yeah, we're focused on Guy Williams and we're desperately, trying to shut his shit down because we fear this guy more than most. They're not going to say anything like that. You have to see it for yourself. You have to see what this is. See what's happening on the feed. And understand, again, if there was anything they could say, if they could dig themselves out of the hole in any way, you know, these are baby penis cutters and suckers. These are slave owners, genocide producers. These guys hate women. They're the pedophiles. They're just the worst. And, go ahead. You say you're laughing. Oh, okay. You laugh at getting called a pedo. That says a lot about you. And I appreciate you outing yourself. It's all like, it all just, this is how stupid they are. This is, opening the books on Israel demonizes Israel. Again, this is what they do. If they could say something else, they would, but this is the best they have. Because they're really, really stupid. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Go watch Hollywoodism. The link will be in the description, along with the link to the band page, www.the-bilderberg.group.com. It's free to download. There's also a link to one of our songs on Facebook. Go watch the video. Have yourself a wonderful day. And